Hey, welcome back to Twin Cities Live. On Twin Cities Live, we want you to thrive. That's the key. We want you to be doing great. So we talk about all sorts of issues. HealthPartners works to treat eating disorders through their work at Melrose Center. This is so important.
That's right. Yep, so important. So there's 5 locations across the metro in Burnsville, Maple Grove, St. Louis Park, St. Paul, and in Woodbury. So the director of the Melrose Center, Dr. Heather Galivan, joins us to talk about eating disorders, specifically in children and in teens. And thank you for being here. This is such a serious issue. I mean, we were getting a little bit of the background statistics. It sounds like it's getting a little bit worse, but thanks for being here to talk about such a serious issue.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm really passionate. We're very passionate at Melrose Center about education because that oftentimes is the key to people getting the help they need.
Well, it seems like we're in a bit of a crisis mode in terms of the numbers. So give us some of the shocking statistics in increase in eating disorders, really from kind of post-pandemic, really.
That's right. So I think we all have heard about kind of the mental health crisis that's been going on, but specifically with eating disorders, there has been an explosion of the development of these disorders amongst teens and adolescents. And at Melrose Center, so here in the Twin Cities, since 2019, we have seen a 40% increase in the number of adolescents and children coming to us for care.
Wow.
That's a shocking number. Why do you think that is? Like, what's the theory on that?
Yeah, well, I think it's a number of factors. I think the pandemic did play a big role. Suddenly, people were pulled out of school, out of sports, out of their lives, isolated from friends. Unfortunately, a lot of us started spending more and more time on our phones. And spending a lot of time on social media, which we know more and more can directly link to the development of eating disorders. So a lot of factors at play.
I feel like, though, we're at a time where societally there's so much conversation about body acceptance. So is that just like a misunderstanding that people think, oh, if we accept our body, that means we won't have any eating disorder? Like, it's about more than just how you look or how you fit into clothes, right?
Yeah, you know, eating disorders are complex. Sometimes I describe them sort of like an onion, right? So there's lots of layers. And while the obvious prompt or trigger for eating disorders might be, I want to control my food, I want to lose weight, I want to change my body, oftentimes people might be using eating disorder behaviors to feel more in control, soothe themselves, deal with challenging relationships, deal with some of the changes to our body during puberty and development. So there's a lot going on, and that's part of what we try to address with people.
So we just showed up on the screen some of the symptoms of some eating disorders. So when it comes to some of these symptoms, when is it just like kind of over the line versus, okay, maybe somebody's just being a little more health conscious, you know, okay, I just want to focus on my food because I just want to be into this health and wellness thing. When does it become the tipping point where they need help?
Right, that is a great question, because I think a lot of times as parents, if our kids might start eating less sweets or drinking less soda, we might get excited about that, right? But the reality is, you know, anytime people start really abruptly and regularly changing their food behaviors and eating behaviors, and it becomes more of a pattern, we really want to take notice. With something like an eating disorder, we don't want to watch and wait. If something doesn't feel right as a parent, it is better to do something before things get so serious and someone might need 24/7 care.
Right.
Because the reality is we can do a lot to treat eating disorders very successfully without needing hospitalization.
So what does treatment entail, or, you know, even that first step of like, how do you assess if treatment might be right for someone?
So typically what we do is we do a comprehensive assessment that may include a medical assessment by a medical provider trained in eating disorders, as well as a psychological assessment to really look at the different behaviors going on, other potential mental health diagnoses that also might be impacting this, to determine A, is there an eating disorder present, and B, what should we do next? And you know, the reality is probably about 10% of the assessments we do every month at Melrose, people don't have an eating disorder, but they've sort of taken that initiative to check it out.
Okay, so we've focused so much on people trying to lose weight through various ways. Now, I'm guessing that you find people that are the opposite, right? They will overeat, and you see changes in the way that they maybe consume more and more food. Is that correct?
That is correct. So really, you know, I think there's commonalities across all the eating disorders, and unfortunately, a lot of times we have kind of the stereotype view of eating disorders are sort of thin people or people that have lost weight.
Well, thin white women.
Thin white
I mean,
women.
that is what
You nailed
everybody
it.
thinks.
You
know?
nailed it.
Yeah.
And the reality is only about 6% of people with eating disorders are actually considered to be underweight.
Wow.
So if that's what we think eating disorders are, we're missing lots of folks, right?
Yeah.
We've seen an increase in males and boys coming in, about a 20% increase in the male population coming in for treatment. About 30% of the patients we treat are 35 and older. And so it's quite a diverse patient population.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we have to have you back,
Fascinating.
Heather, because I want to talk more about that. I think this is so important. Such great information. If you want to learn more about Melrose Center and the services they offer, we posted a link on TwinCitiesLive.com. They also have a podcast you can check out.
Yeah, please do that. All right, guys, we got more show. Don't go away.